We're at it again. We're rolling the crust pizza. We're gonna be doing a new route today, so we're not gonna start filming until we get out there. But I think you all will enjoy it. There's a route I did on Labor Day, and we're going back. It's gonna be Paul's first time out there. We got a few people that wanna go, but it's a big ride. It's at least 100 miles round trip, but should be new terrain.
On this ride, Paul and I left Northampton, rode into the woodlands. We stopped by Crust Pizza and picked up the guys from Team RR. We headed out 1488 West. On this ride, we explored a new course. So we went up to Jackson. We started filming by the time we got to 1486. To just pick up when we hit Magnolia, 1774 there, we got on Riley Road that you see there, took us west, went out, very, very scenic and low traffic route, up and down rollers, just beautiful. You will see the cliffs. I mean, I was really, really impressed with this route. The area that Todd Mission, they have the Renaissance Festival there. We came back through Magnolia into the woodlands, and overall it took a little under 6 hours, I believe, to do the course. It was a good group of riders. Half of them went to try licks, and the rest of us went and did this whole route. We're on the open road, the FM1486 Westbound. We're headed towards Magnolia, Texas. Since this is a new route, we started the filming a little over an hour into the ride. I think it says 1:14 there. We're headed west on 1486, which parallels, is a little north. Well, not a little, probably 7 or 8 miles, maybe 10 to 12 kilometers north of 1488. Abby comes to the front here. I don't know if he's coming to take a pull or attacking, but he slipped in front of me, so I just revved up a little bit and got on his wheel. You will see him do this twice. I couldn't figure out what he was doing, because if you're gonna pull, just stay there and pull. But he'd pull off and then he'd come back. I just kept doing the same thing I was doing. We're doing a long day. I mapped the route from where Paul and I start, and it was about 101 miles. You know, I figure we're going to be riding about 6 hours, so you have to control your effort. But I did this route for the first time on Labor Day, which is the Monday before this Saturday, that we're going to do it again. And so I went ahead and made a route and posted it on the group board, showing everybody, you know, what the suggested plan was. And we got more takers than I expected. I thought it would only be Paul and I, but we ended up with a good-sized group. Doug Schott is here. His brother Greg was the one that took us out there. In a few kilometers, probably about 5 kilometers, we're going to see Greg going the opposite way, and we're going to slow down and wait for him, because he's going to turn around. He's coming the opposite way on this road intentionally to meet us, because he took a different way to get out here, but he knew that we were doing this route because he has access to the group board where we post. Abby has a tendency when he gets to the front to lift the pace. That's just what he does. I'm simply just keeping a comfortable rhythm. I took this way to go out because it gave other people that were at Crust Pizza the option of heading north. We're headed west. They're headed northeast. If you go northeast from where we turned off of Jackson Road, where we turned on the camera, it's a much shorter route. You get about 45, maybe 50 miles, about 80 kilometers, versus 162 kilometers. So not everybody wants to do 6 hours. So this just allowed us to start with like almost, I think, 15 to 20 riders. It was a big group. And so it split up, and I think we're down to like 7 or 8, I'm estimating. But we got a good sized group. And the plan was no one gets left behind. We're going to look out for everyone. And that's what we did. So we brought everybody together, and everybody stayed together for the entire ride, pretty much. That encourages people who are not in top condition to come out knowing that there will be regrouping going on. I didn't realize this was 2%. I just knew it was long. So it got up to about 4%. So this is where Abby pulls off, and I think he's done. And then in a little bit, he will come back to the front. So I don't know what he was doing. I just continued to keep the effort the same. My heart rate had gone up because we went up that climb. It was long. It got up to like 4%. That's to be expected. But when you're doing like a zone 2 ride like we were doing here, that was the plan. That's what I posted. The average of your efforts should be zone 2. You don't have to ride strictly in zone 2. See, he just pulled up. Now he comes back. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he knows what he's doing. In a little bit, he will go back to the back again. So. He pulls off again. Go figure. I just resumed what I was doing. These are the kind of roads I like to ride on, because this particular road you will ride about probably 10 kilometers before you come to an intersection, especially in this direction. We're going to come to the Aggie Expressway, they call it 249. And then after that, until we get to 1774, there are no more intersections. So you get a good workout. It has what I call high, look at the road in the distance, high exercise potential. Whereas if you're riding in your neighborhood, you're stopping every few seconds like a cheap watch. It's a very nice morning. You can see it says 18 Celsius. We have not been below 20 Celsius or 21 Celsius for at least 2.5, 3 months. So this is nice. So fall has arrived in our area. Although fall officially starts around, I believe, the 22nd of September. We're already experiencing fall weather. The shoulder seasons are back. This is the kind of riding that builds a powerful engine. You train your body to do this forever. Just hold the pace. In about probably 10 kilometers, we're going to stop at a store because we've been riding for a while. The ride started at 7:30. Let's see, it says duration 122. Probably includes our warm-up time. And before I pulled out, I used my mirror to check to make sure there was no traffic passing us. So Paul Longa is pulling. Look how beautiful the day is, just fair. I posted a picture on Instagram after this ride, and I quoted Ernest Hemingway. And I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember all of it, but basically what he says is, there is no better way to see the world than by bicycle, because by sweating up the hills and going on the downhills, you get a closer appreciation of the terrain of the country you're in. And that has been my experience. I remember things a lot easier when I ride, my bicycle. Think about it. You probably experience the same thing. You remember the potholes where they are, on your favorite route. In a car, it's not as engaging. So Paul pulls off. I think in a little bit is where we're going to see Greg. I'm going to call out to him and say, hey man, we're doing your route. Because he took us there on Monday. He took Mary and I there. I think that's him coming. You see the light across the way there? That's Greg. That's Doug's brother. I thought we were doing the route, so I was avoiding the ripples there. I said we're doing a route. So I look behind and I see him turning. I'm telling the guy up front to back off. I let them know he's joining us. His brother is here with us, Doug, in the orange jersey up there.
All right.
He's in front of Steve in the blue jersey. Here in front of him is Doug. That's Greg's brother. So he came this way because if you take 1488, it's a shorter way.
Yeah.
Because I knew the ones doing this route.
Yeah.
What I'm telling Paul is, well, before we got to the end of Jackson, the guys that were with us, they had tapped and they raised the pace. So he's joined us, so now we're going to resume. They raised the pace knowing I knew they were not going to go with us. So I didn't initially chase, and try to raise the effort. But then once Doug came around, I was pulling, and Doug came around, decided to just sit on his wheel. It's a lot easier to just sit in. So we probably got about 7 or 8 riders. I'm gonna have to count. Let's see. We got Greg back there, Paul Longa, myself. That's 3. Steve, 4, and then let's see. Doug is 5. Then Shempusan 6. Darren is 7, and then Abby is 8. So that's 8 of us. That's a good sized group. Anything from 3 and up, even your group of 1, if it's just you, but I think ideally 3 to 5 riders, excellent, get a good workout. So 8 is even better. So we take longer pulls here because we have certain riders that are not at our fitness level. Steve hasn't been working out, the guy in the blue in front of me. And I told him this was the perfect ride for him because he hadn't been training. So I also mentioned to him to not feel obligated to pull. I told him earlier in the ride, I said, there's plenty of people that can pull. So get to the front and stay up there, just pull off. He did great, finished the ride strong with us. We kept things under control for the most part. Did our best to keep Abby reined in, especially on the return. Kept forcing the pace. You have to practice standing.
It's already on.
I was just telling Paul,
As
so
soon
you
as
might
we
want to turn on the
turn.
camera. Yeah, I was telling him, you might want to turn on the camera now, because the original plan was to turn on the camera at 1774, which is where we're headed. But he turned on the camera as soon as we turned off of Jackson Road, which is fine because we've never really filmed 1486 in this direction before. So this is all new. But the challenge was that we don't want to film 3 hours, of footage. And that course we're going to do is at least 90 minutes, just low traffic. So we got more than half of it. And the next time we're out there, we'll probably try to get the whole thing. But it's a perfect course for training. You're not competing with too many cars. It's great. Even the dogs out there are cool. You guys will get to see the cool dog today. He comes out and he just, once you talk to him, he just stops. He doesn't come on the road or anything. So it's kind of neat. We're approaching the Aggie Expressway. So I let them know car is back because as we go through here, this lane does not have a shoulder. These geniuses, when they worked on this thing and built that freeway, they took our shoulder away, and so it narrows here and basically disappears. So we're going to use the main lanes until the shoulder comes back. I'm letting Logan know there's a car back because he's way out there. Doesn't need to be that far away from us. Close it up. So all the car back. Abby's still sitting out in the main lane. I think that's Abby. He does that all the time. So after a while, I just stopped saying something. Somebody one stretch we had to tell him, get over, Abby. We had to call him by name. We try to make it easier for these guys to go around. I don't want them sitting behind me any longer than necessary. But he was very patient. That driver was very patient. The drivers have been really cool recently. I was telling my wife about it. Everybody seems to be in a good mood. We're getting closer to 1774. It's a little north of Magnolia, probably about 5 kilometers, 3 miles north of Magnolia at this intersection. Maybe, probably 3 miles. Not very far from downtown Magnolia. But we're going to be going outside of Harris County. We're going into Grimes County as well. I don't know if we hit Waller or not on this route. I think there's a stretch where we hit a piece of Waller County. Yeah, on the way back. There's a bridge here, so I'm standing out of the saddle. It's kind of bumpy. Wherever they have these bridges, they bring the bridge in as a slab of concrete, and it'll mate them very well to the asphalt. I thought something was wrong. I just heard the exclamation. I don't know what it was. I asked, and he said everything's okay. I'm not sure what he yelled out. That's the thing with just exclaiming in the group. With the wind, you can't hear very well. Not distinctly. That's why whenever possible, we use hand signals. Other than car back, I don't say much. I just point. Piece of wood that hit my wheel. That's what you heard there. It flipped up and hit my wheel. Just a small piece of shrubbery, I think. Something fell off of one of these trees. Nothing major. I don't put a lot of weight on my saddle anyway. When I'm pedaling, my weight transfers to my feet. I let the bike move around. So I don't sit heavily on the saddle. believe I see the intersection coming up. It's a long way. We added more kilometers to the route by going Jackson Road, because had we gone straight on 1488, you'd get out here a lot quicker. But it was to accommodate the people who were starting with us from Crust that weren't going to do the big ride. Gave them an option. So we kept them company for the first 45 minutes. I'm glad we took this road because 1486 is up and down, as you can see. And look at it in the distance. It just goes up. I didn't realize it had this many climbs. We don't come this direction very often. But I think this direction is harder. Well, I wouldn't say harder. It's just different because the other one's got some nice bumps too. We're still climbing. You can see it visually. Yeah, now it says 2% because that doesn't look like no 1%. I'm surprised they go up to 3. Yeah, nah, that says 3%. That's more reasonable. That's a reasonable depiction of this. 3 to 5%, you can get a good workout. You go much above that, and you really work it. you got to pick your ratios. I think the new route has some 7 to 10% climbs. It's pretty good. Is 19 Celsius, that's 69 degrees Fahrenheit. At the end of the ride, it was barely 30 Celsius, which is like 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It was still cool. We're asking if anybody wants to stop, because this was a point to stop on. And then so Logan just said that Greg turned into the shopping center here on the right. It's a Shell station, and we pick our stops based on how clean, the cleanliness of the station. This station is clean, the bathrooms are clean, it's got good ice machines and everything. That's how we decide to pick our stop. You need to do the same thing. We don't just stop just anywhere. So this is a good
guys,
stop.
We're stopping here.
Paul's letting John know that we're stopping. So we're not sure if we're going to stop or not, and we're talking about it, and we just decided, might as well make a stop, because for almost 90 minutes, there's no store on this route. That's what we're discussing.
Yeah, but if he's already low, we load up here, and then we just stop at Whitehall.
I got another pack.
You got another? Yeah, I don't need to stop. Let's stop at Whitehall.
Huh?
This is a nice bathroom. It smells like roses in there.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I've already been in it.
It smells like roses. So we decided to just stop.
That was before we did this extra loop.
Oh, okay, before this extra one.
So what Doug is mentioning is he didn't know that we were going to do Jackson, and Jackson adds at least 12 kilometers.
Just fill up while we're
If you're low, fill up.
Yeah, so we decided to just stop. Look at Abby. Abby's gonna pee right here and then say I'm crazy. There's a bathroom right there, 100 feet. I mean, we may be out of town, but come on. This is. I just laugh. You were here. I think I mentioned it to him. I don't know if we're still on camera when I do.
Abby's standing right over that peak.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Paul that Abby's standing right over that peak. So this is after we filled up. And what I did is I drank as well as loaded my bottles because for about 90 minutes there is no store where we're going. There is one near a place called Whitehall, which Doug mentioned. That's Doug in the orange jersey up there, the dark orange. That's Greg's brother. So he mentioned at a place called Whitehall, which is 4 miles one way to the route. He said there's a store there, so it's good to know for the next time we're out there. But with 2 bottles full, yeah, that's enough. So we'll fill up in 90 minutes. This is 1774. They've recently paved this stretch of it. That's why it's got a nice wide shoulder.
Yeah.
And what I'm asking Paul there was that this is the road you take to go to Waco. His son attended undergraduate and graduate school at a place called Baylor, and it's in Waco, Texas. And Paul used to go there using this route. So he's very familiar with this highway and this area because he was the one that mentioned to me that they have the Renaissance Festival out here. I had heard about it. I had no idea it was out here. But I am familiar with the road, Riley Road, because many years ago I frequented that road for other purposes. So, but I had never ridden a bike on it, didn't know where it ended up and all of that. So it was just nice. So we're in somewhat familiar territory, but yet it seems like you're out of civilization, so to speak. You're going through single family homes with large acreage properties, a lot of farm communities that have animals and so forth. So very low volume, not heavily populated. That's Greg. That's the guy who took me out on Monday with Mary. So we've ridden out here before. We just never have used the specific roads that you're going to see today. The county roads. County roads don't have the best pavements, but because they're county roads and they're smaller and narrower, they're similar to what you would find like you guys who are in Great Britain. Those narrow little roads that we see sometimes with the hedges on both sides, so you can barely get 2 cars to pass each other. Those are the kind of roads we're going to be on, those county roads. So the cars have to drive slower anyway because they're not like this highway where you can just gun your car. If you drove your car like that on those county roads, you tear it up because they got ruts, and other stuff, and it's just narrow and twisty and turny, so you have to slow down. It's kind of like when you drive, let's say, the canyons in California. Unless you're a maniac, you're not going to be swinging around those curves the same way like you would on an interstate where you can see for miles. So Doug is pulling right now. Doug shot. Doug also rides with Mo and them from time to time, like we do. And most of the riders in our area frequent other groups based on what's going on with them. Schedule varies. They hear about a ride, they want to try it to see what it's like. I think Paul's setting up a rear view here. Yep, that's Abby, and that's Darren behind Abby. Darren's the biggest guy in this group, so when you get behind Darren, you get a great draft. Darren's at least 6'3" to 6'5", probably 6'5". He's a Brit. So they're all in mourning because of the Queen, and Mike Barrera posted on the board the condolences, the passing of Queen Elizabeth. From the time I was a kid, that's all we knew was Queen Elizabeth. So she's an icon. And most of the time we're on this road going and returning. Even though we're using the shoulder, the drivers just gave us the entire width of everything. They used the left lane mostly. Because this is a busy road. I mean, they widen it and everything's kind of nice. It goes a few, as I speak, this guy's, I don't remember him, but most of the drivers anyway use the left lane. And a lot of times we get that. Even when you're on the shoulder, they'll give you plenty of room. I'm following Doug very closely so that when he's done, I can be fresh when I take my pull. Because this week for me was a rest week in my training macro cycle. I had on Monday we rode a long ride, and then Thursday I just felt tired. I rode Monday, Wednesday, and then took Tuesday and Thursday off. Then I ended up taking off Friday, even though I wanted to spin. So I had like 3 days off. So I decided to just, when I reviewed all my data, I was due for a week where I backed off the volume. And that's the way you kind of have to do things, because sometimes you plan and then life happens. You can see how clean this pavement is. So making sure your bike fits you, I cannot stress that enough, it's paramount. To be able to ride for extended periods and comfort, it's important. Your saddle, your bars, your feet, the 3 contact points. Your weight needs to be properly distributed for you to benefit. Probably a couple of kilometers, we're going to come to the intersection for Riley Road. I believe we stay on that road for almost 10 kilometers. Logan will ask me, and then I had told him 3 miles, which is about 5K, but I underestimated the length of that road. It's more like 10 kilometers, it was like 6 miles. Is it probably about the length of probably a Spring Branch Road, something like that, or even Jackson. And it's a nice road, up and down. Then there's one little section where it gets kind of bumpy and rough. It's almost like one little area that didn't pay their taxes or something. You'll hear Shimple say, I guess he says somebody didn't pay their taxes or something like that. Because they use the taxes, I think sales taxes and other stuff, to keep the roads maintained. So we check, it's clear, we're going to be turning left. There are cars behind us, but they're far enough away to where we're going fast enough to just go ahead and take this left turn. Both Doug and I have mirrors on our bikes. And I think Doug also has
separated. This is where I ended up.
One ride where Paul and I got our wires crossed. That's what he's talking about. He came north. So this is Riley Road. We're going to turn left, go across the railroad tracks. and it's almost like you leave civilization for a bit. I'm talking about Mary. She came on Monday for a 75-mile ride. She didn't bring any food, so we had to stop at that gas station that was across the street there. I was telling Doug, I said we had to stop for her to buy food. And she bought bananas, and then she dropped one of them on the route and didn't know where she dropped them. I think John is asking if we know where we're going. Yeah, you know. What I did is after doing the ride on Monday, your computer stores the route. I have a Garmin and it stores the route. And I just downloaded the map. I actually ended up editing the course to move us to 1486. So yeah, by the time I was done messing with that, I knew all the turns. This is Riley Road, and it's just, ended up being nice. Look at that sky. Beautiful. So you notice John here in view is looking around. That's the joy of it. This is all new. It's not that far from town. He's blown away by, man, this is nearby, is right here. He's checking everything out. That's the cool thing about being on the bike. You feel close to everything. And throughout all this particular stretch, he was noticing the buildings and different things. You can't help but notice it. It's really nice. I pulled for a long time here because I wanted these guys to get a chance to just kind of experience, this road. When I came by on Monday, I was impressed. You can see all the fences. These are all people's property. Anything that's fenced in, somebody owns it. No trespassing. We're going slightly downhill here. And I just go through the gears to keep the pace even. It's a nice little tempo. So that's Logan, who's on my wheel, and this is John Clement Champoussin Malbrec from the AG2R Citroën La Mondiale team. We renamed him. He has the same characteristics as Clement Champoussin. John is the kind of rider what we refer to as a gritty rider, meaning that never say die. He always ready to push. He will ride his legs off. The road goes up here, and I see him coming in my mirror. You know how he likes to push, and I raise the power. Look at my watts. I figure I'm gonna make him work harder. So he never makes it to the front. I'm on a small chainring. I don't know what gear I'm in, but I shifted to the small chainring because I knew this thing was steep and long. Because I came on Monday and I remember all the climbs. So he just slipped back in. I just added 200 watts to it. And I wasn't looking at the wattage. I just went harder. I didn't downshift. I stayed in the same gear, pushed it. And then in my mirror, I could see him drift back. John likes to push on the hills because it doesn't weigh much. He's a lightweight guy, probably 150 pounds, I don't know. So I pull off. In a little bit, I'm going to come back to the front because it dawns on me that the way this camera films, it creates what we call clips. And so if I'm not in the shots for an extended period of time, it's hard to synchronize the data you see on screen when I'm actually in the studio. So after a while, the clips are like 8 to 10 minutes long. So I try not to stay out of the frame longer than 5 minutes at a time, because that would make, it would be more reasonable for me to be able to sync everything. So once I realize that I've been back there for a while, or that Paul and I are not in the proper rotation, I'm gonna ride up and just slip in front of Paul. And Paul knows when he sees me why I'm doing that, because that's the only way I can keep the data accurate. I've got to synchronize each clip to certain locations, what they call it, the GPS locations. Look at this road. It's just beautiful of water. Well paved. Quiet. What more can you ask for? Look at the sky. And look at this day. It's beautiful. And the way Paul framed this shot right here, look how perfect that is. Not all of them are like that, because at the end of this, he's going to stand and will throw the angle off a little bit. But I'm telling you, this frame here, whatever he's doing here is perfect. Look at that. Logan's pushing up here. He's working. Because this road is not flat. Yeah, it says 3%. It's not flat. You feel it. I like this road. And this is just a prelude to the other more interesting pieces. I will even end up telling John, because he tells me he likes his road. I said, oh, you haven't gotten to what you really like yet. What you're really going to like. Because I knew he'd love those climbs. And once we get out there, he takes off. You'll see. Logan's done. I think in a little bit I'm going to come up after Logan gets back in line. So you think about it, this road is probably, 6 miles. You can get a great workout. No intersection, no stopping for 6 miles. That's why we call this the open road. So for 10 kilometers you can go. That's a heck of an interval. It's almost like you got a closed course. That's one of the biggest benefits of doing Grand Fondos, and if they're marshaled, this is where I come in front of Paul. Just kind of slip in. When I realize that, man, I've been out of the frame for a while. I don't want to make my work too difficult when I'm doing post-production stuff. We're working here because it's very breezy. Right here, we're going into some kind of a westerly flow. The wind is coming directly in our face here. It's blowing from the west. You can see my heart rate went up 160. And this road is relatively flat, but it's that wind. For this first stretch, we got a headwind. And someone mentioned that it may have been off camera, and I told him, well, it's going to turn in a while, so we're not going to always be going directly west. That's another thing nice about this course. It's a rectangle, so you're always moving around. There's a subdivision right there, Saddle Creek Forest. It's one of these gated communities where people buy lots and build to suit. The road has a lot of patina, and doing my best to call them out so people are not surprised. But it's a beautiful road. Hey, look at this. So you got up and down, and some of the ups are like what they call false flats or ninja grade. You feel it more than you see anything. Like right here, we're pushing, but it seems flat. But if you get a 1%, they'll go to 0, and they'll go 1% again. And then once we get off this road, it's gonna really be in your face where it goes 7 to 10%. When we get on the county road, it's just sweet. So when you get off this course, you feel like, yeah, I rode. Look at all the tree line. Just the trees are lining this road. Look in the distance. It's beautiful. And once we get on the county road, there's an actual canopy where the trees have converged over the road. I stay a little to the left of John because I want to see what's coming. Just slightly off to the left. That felt like the best place to be. John's a small guy, so unless you get very low, you don't get a perfect draft anyway. Look at that. Beautiful. That's somebody's house. John and I were talking about it. It's an unusual house in the distance there. That's the cool thing about these lots out here. Everybody put their own stuff together, their own style. So this is the kind of road you don't get bored on. Every second is changing. Up, down, up, down. We're still on Riley Road. I think it kicks up here. Yeah, 3%. This is John's favorite terrain. He loves these little bumps. He pulls off. I just continue the same effort. If you look at my feet, they look like I'm slapping the pedals. That's the way your fit is supposed to be. Your feet should be free. You don't have to worry about hot spots or anything. It's like you're floating. You're just smacking those pedals as you pull up. Look at that. That's the way it's supposed to feel. You should feel the arch of your foot just pulling back. It's very scientific. Gotta love it. Cycling is deep. The road goes up. You can see it visually and look on the thing there. I think it's like 3%. I find the right gear and just keep the tempo. Tapping out the rhythm. This kit we're wearing is a variation of the kit we wore earlier in the year, which was more reddish orange. This one is more of a yellowish orange. All made by Souke. They're not messing around. Next level stuff. This is where the roads get bad. All of a sudden, we hit a stretch where I think John's gonna say, I guess nobody paying their taxes. Well, not bad, but just a little bumpier than what we've been used to. There are stretches in the country where you go one stretch. You know, I don't know what county we're in right here, but it doesn't last very long. So what I'm doing is I'm navigating, avoiding the bumps and the stretches where I will ride actually on the yellow line because it's a quiet road. You gotta learn how to avoid all those things and just seek out the smoothest pavement. That's just reading the road. So, that's how the boys ride Prairie. They're looking for spots that are smooth among those cobblestones. I don't know if that's even possible. And some of them riding the dirt. When it gets real crappy, then I stand. Let the bike move around under me. We're gonna be turning soon, and then the road surface changes. But overall, I give this course high marks. This is where we're gonna turn. We're gonna be turning right. I've already told the group we're turning right, so they know. I'm gonna get off the front so somebody else can pull. I think somebody's gonna ask, and I thought it was further than it was. It's like maybe probably a quarter mile. We're gonna turn left. I think I told him a mile, and Doug corrected me. Yeah, it's right the distance. I thought it was further. So that's Steve up there. Abby's in front of Steve. I'm gonna slip behind Steve. And Paul's behind me. Let's see who else is here. So Doug's up there. Darren's up there. And I don't know if Shepelstein's up there or not. John. He just pulled off before I did, so he must be behind Paul. Yeah, John and Logan are behind, I think, behind Paul. And we kept the group together. When we get out there on County Road 325, Darren has a problem with his rear tire. So we regroup at a certain point and then resumed. We're turning left. This is the left turn. And then the pavement improves dramatically. This one here, this stretch is good. It's not that bad. This road will take us to Highway 362. I think it's called FM1486. I thought Logan wanted to come up, but I think he wants to stay on the back. Logan has not been riding as normal for his schedule, so he's trying to conserve. That's what Shempas said. They got everything out here. He liked the variety. And I told him, you haven't seen what you're really going to enjoy. In about probably 5 kilometers, we'll be on County Road 325. What I liked about this route is, besides the fact that the county roads were great, we spent minimal time on busy roads. Because this road is not busy either. We got a few cars that pass, but this is a quieter road than a major, like even 149 we ride on all the time. This is much quieter. And the drivers are used to seeing us out here. This road here, I believe, is called Prairie Road or something. But these roads are they're included in a map. There was a book that was made maybe 30 years ago, and they sold them in bike shops. It's called Cycling the Houston Area. There were cyclists that went around and just mapped out areas that were conducive to cycling, and then they graded them based on the exercise potential that they provided. And this area was heavily displayed in that book. So cyclists are out here all the time riding, and drivers are accustomed to seeing us. We're still going into the wind. We're going west, I believe. Yeah. We're going directly into the wind. 23 Celsius. So it's almost 75, I guess. 74 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. I'll go ahead and take a gel, and I don't know if I'm having, I think I'm having something solid. Yeah, I had something solid, so I put the wrapper under my jersey. And it stayed there the entire ride. It didn't fall out. I got home, I took off my jersey, then it fell on the floor. That's the nice thing about making sure your kit fits you. Take a drink to wash it down. We get a lot of those. My wife gets them from Sam's. They're nature green granola bars or something like that. And they've got this one that I've really gotten to like recently. It's called. It's made by the same Nature Valley. Nature Valley. They call this one sweet and salty nut, and it's an almond. It's almond that's in there, but it's sweet and salty. And we carry that. It's really good. In the summer, it melts on you if it's very hot. But I like it better than the pure granola bar that Nature Valley makes, because there's no crumbs that much. Sometimes you got to be careful with the granola bar, because the crumbs get in the wrong place. It can strangle you. If it goes down the wrong hole, you got to reach for your water bottle. So you got to take your time. So I take little bite sizes. But they're inexpensive versus the other stuff like Cliff Bar and all that other stuff. I've tried Cliff Bar. I could not handle it, And back in the day, I've tried the fig bars. That was not my thing. I just never liked figs that much. Fig Newtons or whatever. Some riders still eat it. The fig is a good source of carbs. The fruit itself, yeah, I can handle that. But that fig bar, no. So you find what you like and stay with it, or whatever works for you in training. Don't try anything new on a big ride. Try what you have tried before that works. You don't want to upset your stomach when you're doing big rides. I don't eat anything unusual when I go to Grand Fondos and other things. I carry my own. Always try new things on your short solo rides. So if it upsets your stomach, you're not going to miss a big block of training. about probably 2.5 kilometers from the turnoff. We're going to turn on to 362, which is a busier road. I mean, higher speed traffic, but it's not very busy. You get a car now and then. We weren't on it very long. We're probably on it for maybe 3K, about 2 miles, I would say. 1.5 to 2 miles. And then we got on County Road 325. I remember the road because I was impressed with it. It reminded me of Bailey Grove, but I refer to it as Bailey Grove on steroids. There's a lot of farm country out here. You can see all the fences. We're in the Prairie section here. That's why I was very surprised of all the rollers we found on the particular course. I'm waving the driver up. Got a little bit of room before there's a motorcyclist coming in the distance, but he's far enough away. We're going to be turning right on 362 coming up. Looks like somebody raised the pace for a bit. This is 362, which has faster traffic, but it's still a quiet road. This road, you can take it all the way to Navasota or Anderson, Texas. Sometimes the guys will use this road coming back from Anderson. We don't stay on this road very long. Probably, yeah, like I said, probably about 3 kilometers, a couple miles, and then we turn left on 325. The wind is coming from the left, which is westerly. I believe we're headed north. Yeah, kind of northwesterly. I think it's Doug that's pulling right now. So using your gearing wisely eases the tension on the rest of your body, like your lower back and so forth. So if you find yourself getting a lot of aches in your lower back, it might be because your gears are too heavy, because you use the muscles in your back as well when you cycle. Whenever I return my bottle to the cage when I'm in the pace line, or even when I'm solo, I make sure I keep my hand on it until it slips in, especially with the condensation from the ice. Don't want to drop the bottle while you're in the pace line. You will see the difference in the pavement as we leave Harris County and we're going to Grimes County. It becomes like chip seal, but it's not that bad actually. It's just different. I think they do that because it requires lower maintenance. I think it's right here. Yeah, look at that. You see the color change? This is chip seal here, but actually it's pretty nice chip seal.
Car back. Car back. Car back.
About 1,000 meters, we're going to be turning left. That's less than a mile. It's one of the nicer chip seal I've encountered. It's well done. It's just solid, and there's no loose stones or anything. It feels good. It's a lot smoother than most of them. So I look in my mirror, there are cars back there, but they're far enough away, I let them know we're going to be turning. There's no point in them trying to pass us because this road curves in the distance. That's why they have the double yellow lines. So we help them make the proper decision to wait since we're turning anyway. This is County Road 325. A diamond in the rough. Look at this bad boy. You turn and it's like 3% at the corner. Now it dropped down, it's gonna kick back up. 4%, 5%, 6%, 7. It's just going up. This is cool. And look at the trees, like they're talking to each other. And we're just climbing. It just continues. And you'll hear Logan in a little bit. He'll come by. He said, "Man, it's nice out under here, Eldred." I thought it was a Greg brought me out here. Greg's been keeping this course a secret. Look at the road. This is what I'm talking about. So even when there are cars on there, 2 cars can't pass each other at speed on this road. So they have to slow down. So most of the cars we encounter out here, they're going slow. We're done with that climb. We're descending. There's a stretch where I think we hit like 63K, which is almost like 40 something miles an hour. I mean, it's just amazing. They're not super smooth, but I've encountered some worse county roads. This is nice. My wife's mother lives in Pittsburgh, Texas, and that county roads are really beat up. They got potholes galore. So, you know, small area. The tax base is small. So this is nice. This is not bad at all. See how the pavement changes? This is nice. That whitish looking asphalt is smooth. Then they got chip seal in between, and they're all just easily navigable. So that first stretch was nice. It kicked up. Now it's leveling off a little bit. Now it's going to go in the distance, going to go left, and it's going to kick up. So you pick up a lot of speed here. It descends. Look at that. And we're flying. 57K, 58K, 61. I think we hit 63 there. Yeah, we got almost 40 miles an hour. So going back the other way, that would be a heck of a climb. And there's quite a few of them out here. And then you lose all your speed right here because it just basically bites into the next hill. And then we're starting to have some fun now. Turn, it's like a little switchback. That's what Logan says. Nice back here, Eldred. I thought it was Greg did that. County Road 325. Grimes County, man. It's like a little path in the woods. These are the kind of roads you need to look for when you want to really focus on working out. So this is where we found out that someone's off the back, and later on we'll find out as a mechanical. He's got like a slow leak. He ended up just putting some air back in the tire. That was Darren, the big boy.
Tough guy that calls out a stop on the hill.
Greg says tough guy that calls a stop on a hill. I think Doug said he hadn't been on this road, so it's like we're climbing. I'm not stopping.
I'm there. I'm there.
That's Greg on the left there. I mean Doug, I'm sorry. And Greg is behind us. He's out of camera. They call stop on a hill. Ain't nobody stopping. We gotta finish the hill. And look, it's still going. This is definitely I will be back. Just beautiful.
We still don't have Darren.
Yeah, Darren's the one that's having a mechanical. At this point, we're not aware, but we don't see him. And so he's calling out a job. Leave him alone. Let him ride.
Shepherd says I can forget you.
Shepherd's like, God, this is his terrain. I told him, leave him alone. I know we brought him out here. Let him ride. Clément Champousson. Azagajet, the AG2R Stritron La Mondiale team. The world. The world is truly beautiful. Look at that sky. So I thought we'll wait at the corner. There's a turn in the distance, probably about 5 kilometers off the road, where we have to turn right to go back northeasterly and go towards town. So we can wait at that turnoff for him. That way everybody gets to ride. There's another descent. So if you were to come on this road, do this, and come back, yeah, that would be a workout. Apparently this road is frequented by local cyclists.
No, is this still Grimes County?
Yeah. You're on the county line to Grimes, Waller, and Harris.
Yeah, Grimes, Waller, and Harris are the counties out here. He mentioned something about Walker.
Yeah,
Walker County is more towards Huntsville,
depending on where you turn.
northeast.
I think it's Grimes. No, I don't think we're near Walker here.
Walker's towards Huntsville area. We've seen that war going to BDAX. The big cow's yard is actually further up. I mixed it up with this one. There was a cow out here when we came on Labor Day. He looked like he worked at a Gold's Gym. Big boy, big bone cow. Today, just his little mates were out.
Shampoo said wants to get it over and done with.
Well, when we sat back out here.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. That's why I brought him out here.
Yeah. Paul said Shampoo wants to get it over with. But you can stop on a hill? No, we're not stopping on the hill. We'll stop after the hill.
Came out there, hey man, I ain't stopped. Right here.
Yeah, there's the cool dog. The cool dog lives here. That's the cool dog. As soon as you talk to him, he just stops.
Hey, behave yourself.
He just stops. He looks at you like, oh, I didn't know you could talk. I was just chasing that thing with the wheels. You know.
He listens.
He just stopped. He stood there by the fence looking at a big hairy brown dog.
Beautiful.
Yep.
In a little bit, Paul, I'm gonna suggest to Paul to film. There's a prairie, looks just like in the old West. For those boys who be riding their horses, you're gonna see it in a little bit right there. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
That's what we used to see in those Western movies.
Look at that! This is beautiful.
Yeah. Wow, wow, West.
If you
The
come
Wild
this way
Wild
and go
West.
back this way, you're gonna do some serious climbing. Look at
Yep.
that long descent back there. Look at that.
So I'm gonna come out here and do some repeats. Do this west and easterly.
They didn't have a mechanical. These guys have you don't pull that long.
The thing is look at all these trees over here.
I already told Steve, I said there's enough people. I told him earlier, I said there's enough people, and he listened.
Yep.
You don't need to be up there.
Yeah.
There's no cheating on this rock. 2 hours is out here. So you 2 hours into it. Ain't no more messing around.
Yeah, this ride is like, by this point, let's see, 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Out here mess around you.
We're out here.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Right in our neighborhood. If it goes west, then we go north, then we go east. Look to the left. This is where I saw the big cow.
This is
right
where
here
the big
in this
cow
yard.
lives.
Big yellow cow. Huge.
His smaller cousins were out today. They're out there.
Gotta get all these guys on film.
They eat the grass that starts smacking and make you hungry. They make that grass look tasty.
I would love a road like this. This is not all, there's more, my brother.
Yep.
When we get off of this, we get on 302, there's more. Nice. Yeah, this is where we want to wait.
Next time we come, we'll make sure we film 302. We'll film later.
Yeah.
That's the first time you
We'll
see
start
it.
from
Yeah.
Riley Road.
That's the right direction, but we gotta wait for Darren.
So this is the turn off here where we have to stop and wait.
That dog up there, the brown dog, he's the cool dog. As soon as he said hey, he just stops. He looks at you. Guys. All right, man.
Is Darren
back.
okay?
I'm gonna go back and see.
Where they are. We're gonna
if
wait
I
here.
can see them. Yeah, wait right here.
Yeah. I'll turn off the camera here, man.
Close to Highway 2.
So Darren's back with us. He told us he got a slow leak, so he stopped and put some air in his tire. You can see how that works out. He ended up making it back, so it must have been a really small leak. It's one of those things where when you have a leak like that, you want to get home and check your tire casing to find what's in it, because chances are a piece of flint or something is in there before you put a new tube in there, because it will just puncture it too. Because it takes a while before you realize your pressure's low when the leak is that small. So small enough, he put air in the tire and he made it back to town. When we got into town on 1488, he stopped and topped it off again. I accelerate right up to Doug and them. So we're now headed, I believe, in a northerly direction. Yep, north. We're headed northerly, and then we're going to go for a while, then we'll go east, which will take us back to 1774. End up doing a big rectangular section of Grimes County. This road is not letting up. In a little bit, Logan is going to pull off from chatting with Duck and go find some shelter. Right there, he pulls off. As soon as he pulls off, Doug accelerates. You see the watts go up. This road's going up and it's curving. And it goes on for a while. I really like this stretch. So if you're treating with a power meter, I mean, you don't need to be killing yourself all the time. So you have to have specific workouts for certain times of the year, days of the week, so forth and so on. Periodization. This whole stretch of the road has been going up. Then it's going to kick up right when we get out from under the canopy of the trees here. By the time we hit 500 watts, there was a separation. So if you're not used to putting out that kind of power, your leg screams. Every time it kicks up, the effort goes up, 600 watts. This is FM2. So it's another major road, but lightly traveled, sparsely traveled, because look around you. Just open prairie. This is heading directly eastbound.
your FM2.
Yeah.
I look in my mirror to make sure everybody's back and we're a group. And Duck comes along.
FM2.
FM2?
Yeah.
Number 2? Just
Yeah,
2?
number 2.
All right, where's 1?
There is no FM1. I had posted on the board and I said FM1, but I posted that was a mistake.
Usually like
It's just FM2.
1488.
It reminds me of Anderson, just the way it
1097.
looks. So this is part of what we did on Saturday. I hope you all got a chance to get your K's in, because you know you got to keep the doctors far. Let nothing stop you from getting your K's in.